This is Support is Sexy, episode 173, with best-selling author and nutritionist J.J. Smith. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. You know, it just would not be the same without you. And today we are welcoming J.J. Smith, best-selling author, nutritionist, and just a fabulous resource of information about health, fitness, nutrition, eating well, and green smoothies, and how green smoothies literally transformed her life and how they can transform our lives too. Now, I'm very excited and passionate about this because I got to ask all of my nutrition questions, especially about green smoothies, which we all hear so much wonderful things about green smoothies and how they're good for us. We come up with all kinds of excuses. I'll speak for myself. All kinds of excuses for why I haven't started drinking smoothies every day. It's something that's on my to-do list. But talking to JJ has really made me more committed than ever. And she talks about the difference between a decision and a commitment. More committed than ever to drinking green smoothies. So you will be inspired by this episode, I'm sure, as I was. So in this episode, JJ talks about, first, something that I found really remarkable, how her self-published green smoothie book became a bestseller. So listen to that journey as she talks about that. Also, why you should give up on those resolutions, why a lot of us get caught up on regimen and diet, and why we should focus instead on one meal at a time. Why healthy eating and clean eating is the same no matter your lifestyle, how to figure out how certain foods impact your body, foods you should avoid no matter your diet, why people underestimate detoxing, the healing power, as we said, of green smoothies, I'm a believer, the key ingredient for your green smoothie, the surprising way to trick your metabolism, something I'm sure you haven't heard before, why JJ doesn't believe in quote-unquote cheat days, and what she suggests as a smart alternative, how mindset plays a key role in staying healthy, also how to go for your passion, and how to get your sexy back, which I love that story that she tells us in here. So chock full of information. As always, you can go to supportissexypodcast.com to get all of the links, to get in touch with JJ, all of the information and the resources and links to her books, which are fantastic. So without further ado, J.J. Smith. So J.J., thank you so much for joining us for an episode of Support is Sexy. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Now, first question, when did you first fall in love with entrepreneurship?
I don't think I ever fell in love with entrepreneurship. I'll tell most people I'm not. I just focus on my passions and doing what I love. I've done that all my career. I don't believe in having a job. I believe in just pursuing passions. And if you're able to monetize it, great. But I definitely don't even look at myself as an entrepreneur, actually.
Do you look at yourself as a creative, or do you just think of yourself as someone who's following her passion?
Just following my passions. I just do what I love, and the money generally will follow.
Amen to that. Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up outside of Washington, D.C. in a place called King George, Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was JJ like as a little girl?
I was always curious, avid reader, pretty outspoken. My mom used to say I would, if I had a choice between a book or my last meal, I'd always choose a book because I love to read and learn and go places that I couldn't normally go.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would you say were some of your greatest influences growing up?
That would be my mom and dad. They are the absolute role models that I've had all my entire life. My mom's so loving and gracious and kind, and my dad was always very intellectual and really drove us to work hard and achieve and be greater than our wildest expectations. So they were always present and available to make sure we lived our very best life.
As you got older, what did you think you would be when you grow up?
I wanted to be a school teacher when I was younger. I used to put my little teddy bears on my bed and I would teach them classes. And I really thought I was going to be a school teacher, but it didn't work out that way.
How did it become what you're doing today, being a nutritionist and a health advocate and writing New York Times best-selling books about being healthy? How did that all come about for you?
Well, for me, I've always taken interest in health and nutrition. I used to read and study about it. And I used to talk about it so much. My friend said, you should write a book about it. And I said, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Write a book. And I wrote a book based on my interest in it. I was a certified nutritionist, but I mainly was just trying to get my own self healthier. And then I wrote about it, and then over time the books began to pick up, and I just shared my experiences and what I learned. And my whole all my writing is just about me telling my story. And that's how I ended up being a nutritionist and author full time. My background is actually in mathematics and information technology.
Oh, okay. So that's very different. Or is it? I mean, it's different as far as on the surface, but is there a way for you that it all comes together?
I think being in technology, it made me very analytical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I think about my health, I'm way more analytical than most people. So I observe little details about my health, my energy, my digestion that most people wouldn't observe about themselves. So I'm very analytical about what's happening with my body. And it helps me get back on track in terms of eating or taking supplements. And so I'm just very analytical about health and weight loss, where most people just kind of do something and throw it against the wall and see what happens.
Right. Now, the first book was 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse, right?
No, I'm working on my fifth book.
You're working on your fifth. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. There was my first bestseller was Lose Weight Without Dieting or Working Out. I have a book on belly fat, and then the 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse came later.
So when you were writing the first book, did you sort of write it and then present it to agents or potential publishers, or what was your process?
No, I wasn't interested in getting an agent or trying to sell the book. I was just trying to write the book and share my experiences. Most authors don't realize there's a difference between writing the book and marketing the book. Mm-hmm. And authors like myself back then, I only thought about writing the book. So I wrote the book and I finished the book, but I didn't have a plan to sell it to the agents or market it at all. That came much later. But when I wrote it, it was just a hobby. I just wrote it because I was interested. I was making probably minus $2,000 at that time between cost of publishing. It was definitely something I was in the red on for sure.
And then someone came to you later and said, this is something that we want to publish.
Well,
or market, as you said, it's different than publishing.
Well, I never went. The 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse was a self-published book. Self-published books usually don't make the New York Times bestseller, but mine did, right, because it had its own grassroots viral movement behind it, and it hit the New York Times bestseller and got the attention of the major publishers in New York. And about 13 of them gave me an offer to buy the book. And at that time, I considered the offers, and that was the first time I sold one of my books, was the 10-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse.
I see. That's amazing. Yeah, like you said, and a lot of books don't make the New York Times bestseller list, and especially, a lot of self-published books. So that's amazing. Okay, excellent. So now, being that this is in February now as we're talking, and a lot of people have made their resolutions in January, and some people, unfortunately, might be sort of falling off, especially with diet or getting healthy. What kind of advice do you have for people with sticking with their sort of weight loss resolutions or goals?
Well, I think to me, you could just forget about resolutions, diets, all that stuff doesn't work. Because what happens is you think you're going to follow this regimen, stick to it, you're going to get to your goal, and then go back to your old life. The old life never really is coming back. You have to make a lifestyle change where you just have better eating habits. If you eat better, you try to get moving, and you move yourself in a direction to be better than you were with your habits the day before, you'll make much better progress. And there's no need for a resolution. Every day I wake up, everybody says, what's your resolution, JJ? I said, it's the same every year. I keep my weight down and my dollars up. It's very simple. And so for me, I just have to live in a way that helps keep me slim and healthy. And that's like losing weight is one meal at a time. So every day I wake up, it's a brand new day to make better eating choices than I did the day before. Some days I do well, some days I don't. But I never consider like, this is my diet, this is my regimen, I have to follow this to get to my goal. No, I just have to eat better so I can look better. And so I think a lot of people get caught in the regimen, the diet, and thinking once they get there, it's over. But it never really ends. Healthy eating, is something that you're going to have. Even if you get to your goal weight, you have to continue it to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So it never really ends. So I said, forget about diets, forget about resolutions. Just try to, I have a cousin who always says, JJ, I need you to help me lose 80 pounds. I said, you don't need to worry about losing 80 pounds. You just need to worry about what you're going to eat today. The 80 pounds will take care of itself, one meal at a time. Just do better today. And I guarantee you'll get to the 80 pounds sooner than later.
Such great advice. And do you think, too, for people thinking about, as you said, this idea of eating healthy, that looks a little different for everybody, right? So it's not just, I have to be vegan or I have to be fill in the blank.
Yeah, vegan isn't necessarily a plan for weight loss anyway. That's a misnomer. There's a lot of vegans who are overweight and unhealthy.
Just as an example, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about it is healthy eating, clean eating is the same. I don't care what diet or regimen. People can call out different diets, but if you look at the root of them, it's the same stuff you have to avoid. The sugar, the white bread, the white potatoes. There's fundamental principles of things that help your body gain weight versus lose weight. And regardless of the diet, they're going to be the same. So when I say healthy eating, it's the same principles that you would apply whenever, no matter what the lifestyle is. And so for people, I think it's more important to find out what works well for you. A lot of times people are vegan because it could be religious reasons. But I think what people have to figure out is, what do they enjoy eating? Like, I like chicken and beef. They're never going to go away from my diet. And protein helps my body lose weight. And so for me, I know protein is king. So I eat a lot of protein, even at the expense of eating a ton of vegetables and healthy carbs and things like that. So once you learn how food impacts your body, you can really kind of customize and eat in a manner that helps you stay slim and healthy. But you have to be very observant and figure out what foods really work for you and which ones don't.
And do we do that by experimentation or keeping what do they call, like a food journal or something like that, in order to see how we're responding to different kinds of meals?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have to start by just eliminating certain foods. Mm-hmm. And the process of elimination will get you much farther than someone telling you eat this. Because the process of elimination for most will generally get rid of the most offending foods for weight gain. And I think when people start doing that and they see results, then once you get results, you have a whole nother level of motivation. Because you said, I've cut back on breads and sugar, and I'm starting to see some results. Now you're going to pursue, so what else can I eat? At some point, you want creativity, you want good food that's healthy, and you start venturing out. But only until you see results do you get motivated to continue to pursue, uncover, and learn about the foods that can help you lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Now tell us about your latest book, Green Smoothies for Life.
On the 10-day Green Smoothie Cleanse, one of the popular questions I would get every day is what to do after the 10 days. Mm-hmm. And Green Smoothies for Life is a way to teach people how to eat, still incorporating green smoothies, but enjoying hot meals and desserts and other foods so you can still lose weight, but you need a plan that you can maintain for life. There is life after the 10 days. The 10 days is just a detox. It's not a weight loss plan. Where in Green Smoothies for Life, we give you a way to figure out how to eat in a manner that can help you get to your goal weight. So it's much more of a long-term plan, where the 10-day Green Smoothie Cleanse is just a 10-day detox.
And in Green Smoothies for Life, as you mentioned earlier, just about us wanting to get more creative with our meals, you also offer different kinds of recipes, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of seafood, a lot of chicken, a lot of, plant-based meals. But it teaches you that healthy food can be good food. And when we customize these with the chef, they had to meet that requirement of being good on Grandma's Sunday dinner menu mm-hmm. in order to pass. So what we wanted people to understand is how you cook in a manner and get good food that's still very healthy. And so the recipes are just the bomb. And I'm greedy, so I'm very particular about good food, you know.
Right. And I think that's a good point. Just the fact that you can still enjoy food. It's just what kinds of foods. And as you said, what you're eliminating. So it's not, people think about this whole idea that I'm going to go through withdrawal if I don't have whatever kinds of food, but you're giving them creative ways to enjoy food in a healthy way.
Yes.
Excellent. So the book is about more than just green smoothies then.
Yes, that's the good news about it.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly say the 10-day Green Smoothie Cleanse is about green smoothies, but this one is just about living healthier. We give 21 ways to detox the body to help accelerate fat burning. We explain how detoxing is the overlooked step. Whenever people want to lose weight, they underestimate the value of detoxing to help them get to their goal weight. And we provide 21 different ways that people can detox to accelerate weight loss. We give success stories of people where they can see themselves and other people who've had amazing success on this journey with us. And so the book is so much inspiration. It's not just meals, it's not just a cookbook, but there's other things that you can learn to really help you live your best life.
What would you say is a key ingredient in just thinking about smoothies? Is there, I should say, a key ingredient that you use each time or more often than others? Some people say kale, some people say some other things. What do you think?
I wouldn't say kale because kale is actually the most bitter and it's not the best tasting in a smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say spinach. Spinach is the least taste. So when you're trying to do a green smoothie, and again, people see them and, they don't look that appetizing.
Right.
They look like those nasty green drinks. But if you use spinach, it's the least tasting green. And when you add that with pineapple or mango, you're generally going to get something very flavorful, tropical, and very, very good to the palate. So I always, if someone comes in my house and they've never had a green smoothie, they cannot leave until I make them one. Best believe it has spinach in it. Because if they get spinach and they get pineapple, they're hooked for life.
Wow. And do you think many people are intimidated by, well, one, as you mentioned, we see it, it's green. And some people think, oh, grass. They don't think healthy when they see green. But do you think we're intimidated too because maybe some of us have tasted some that aren't as great as I'm sure yours are?
I think so. Everybody has run into that nasty green drink. Mm-hmm.
And it's turned them off forever.
Including myself. And it's turned them off forever. And I think the reality is, what I would always tell people is, if someone says, you have to understand this was never about weight loss for me. Mm-hmm. I was just trying to take my life back. I had mercury poisoning. I swallowed my silver fillings. I was bedridden for 6 months on 24 meds trying to get my organs to work. And I learned about green smoothies and how they had such a transformative effect on the health. And the greens have chlorophyll, which is in them, which is the same substance as hemoglobin in the blood. So every time you drink one, it's like a blood cleansing transfusion. It literally has the power to heal your body from lots of illness and diseases. Literally in 10 days, I went from 24 meds to 4 meds, was up out of the bed, never looked back. And so for me, it comes from a place of health. So if someone says green smoothies have the ability to transform your health and your life, and it's like, why not give it a try? So many of us not only deal with weight issues, but just fatigue and low energy, low motivation. All those things come from our hormones being all out of whack and just not having a good eating plan. And if you could just throw in one, forget about detox, the 10-day cleanse, right? Just say if you just added one to everything you're doing today, you're going to still start to notice the effects of it on your health and your body and your skin and your digestion. Even if you just add one in, you still go to fast food. Just add one in and what happens.
Is there a certain time of day that's better than
I would recommend that. I'm just saying, just add it in.
Would you say you're not recommending the fast food?
I'm not saying do green smoothies with fast food. I'm just saying if you didn't change your diet at all,
right,
just had one per day, you're going to start to notice the effects right away.
Is there a time of day that you think is better for a smoothie, or is it, like you said, just add it in at some point during your day?
Anytime is good, but I personally think the morning is best because sometimes I'm feeling like I need a cup of coffee, but a green smoothie energizes me more. So I like it in the morning because it's such a kickstart to energize the body, and it really gets you going.
Thank you for sharing the story, too, just about your battle with the mercury poisoning and this idea, too. I think that a lot of us don't think about how much of an effect the things we eat can have on us, whether it's fatigue or in a space of healing or that kind of thing. So I think it's important for people to have heard that.
No problem. I think it's important to understand, too, because the mercury poisoning is just becoming more widely known, and people who have silver fillings are having symptoms that the doctors are having difficulty diagnosing, because it's things like brain fog. You can't get mental clarity. You're very fatigued. Like for me, I'm an author. I couldn't write a single paragraph. I didn't have the mental capacity to when I had mercury poisoning. And, you sit there, and I'm 47, so you sit there and you think you're getting older, but it's not getting older. There's actually high levels of mercury really interfere with the body's functioning, and so it causes all kinds of symptoms throughout your different bodily systems.
Did you discover it by going to the doctor and doing some tests?
About 12 doctors, and they couldn't diagnose me. And I went to the dentist, and he asked me, "What happened to your silver fillings?" And I said, "They're in my mouth." He said, "No, they're all gone." And then I said, "Well, I don't know what happened." He said, "I wonder if you swallowed them while you were eating. He immediately said, "You have to get tested right now." And I said, "Yeah, I've been so sick. I've been to so many doctors." And he was the first one that thought it was because he didn't see my silver fillings in my mouth. And then I did blood testing. I did muscle testing, and it confirmed that I had high levels of mercury in my kidney, liver, brain, and in my gut.
Wow.
And that's what was causing so many different symptoms in my body. So kudos to the dentist for the dentist for being keen on that.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, one distinction I've seen that you make is the important difference between dieting and eating healthy. Can you explain to us the difference? Because some people think I'm on a diet or I'm constantly dieting, but you say there's a distinction there.
Yes. See, dieting is the concept of I have a regimen to follow to get somewhere, and then I'm done with the regimen. So people go on a diet and they go off a diet. And the difference with healthy eating is you don't really go off it. It's just you just eat better than you did the day before. And I think so many people get caught in diets and bad diets because they think there's an end point where they're going to go off the diet. And with healthy eating, it literally never ends. What happens is you learn to enjoy cheat meals. You learn to enjoy cheat days where you don't eat healthy. But 80% of the time, I have the 80-20 rule. I'm going to eat healthy 80% of the time. And the 20% of the time, I'm going to eat anything I want. And that balance has always worked for me also because you trick your metabolism. Because your metabolism says, oh, this person eats healthy all the time. I don't have to work but so hard to metabolize and burn what they eat. And when you throw in, like a burger and fries, it's like, whoa, this is different. So it kind of puts it in gear. So it really is good to throw in cheat meals and things like that. But healthy eating is the dominant way you're going to eat for the rest of your life. Whereas a diet assumes you're going to go on and go off, and it comes to an end. It really never ends.
It never ends. And for the cheating, is it a cheat? Do you do a cheat day?
No. You know what? It's so funny. I have these, I call them cheat meals. Mm-hmm. A cheat meal is better than a cheat day because it's like, even if it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to have, my cheat meal is going to be Thanksgiving dinner. But I'll do a smoothie for breakfast, and I'll try to eat reasonable for lunch. But no use throwing away the whole day just because you're going to be unhealthy. For a lot of people, an entire cheat day takes them so far off track they can't get back the next day.
They overcheat.
So they overcheat, and next thing you know, a cheat day has turned into a cheat month, and they can't get back.
Right.
So I don't recommend cheat days. I recommend cheat meals and purposely plan for them in advance.
Excellent. So tell us about your challenge that you're doing right now, 30 pounds in 40 days.
Yeah, we have a challenge where we're doing, it's the 10 plus 30 challenge where we do the 10-day Green Smoothie Cleanse, and then we go into the 30-day Green Smoothie Challenge. It's in the Green Smoothies for Life book. So after you finish, you transition into the 30-day plan of meals and desserts and still green smoothies. And by doing that, you continue the weight loss after the 10 days, but you also learn habits that you can maintain for life.
How can people get involved with the challenge? I believe it started on January 30th, but is there a way for us to jump in?
Sure. If they go to my Facebook page, my business page, or we have a 10-day Green Smoothie Cleanse group. It has about 450,000 people in it that are actively doing the cleanse right now. They're on the challenge right now. That's where other people post. On my business page, I can only post, but you can learn about the 10 plus 30 challenge on either.
Great. So I'm sure for everybody listening that I have links to those so everybody can go find out more about the challenge and jump in there, get in where you fit in. So JJ, what would you say the role mindset plays in us sticking to our healthy eating, our new lifestyle? Is mindset an important part of it as much as working out or just eating healthy?
To me, mindset, mental mastery is everything. Most people know what to do, but they can't find the discipline or motivation to do it. They start off strong, they don't finish strong. And so to me, so much of what I teach, particularly in my private VIP group, is strategies for mental mastery, strategies to do what you know to do, to eat what you know you should eat when you just don't feel like it. I always tell people motivation isn't a feeling. It requires action. I can tell you how I feel when I wake up every day. It's like I feel like eating pizza and lasagna every single day.
And French fries for me.
And French fries, right. Aren't French fries the best thing in the
They're
world?
the best thing ever.
They just are. I totally agree. I can eat French fries every single day. Where motivation and that mindset kicks in is doing what you know is best to do for your body, regardless of what you want to do. Doing it regardless of how you feel. Because if it was left to how I feel, I would never eat healthy. I would just eat junk all the time. That'd be my preference. But I have to make those decisions that are best for me and my body in the long term. And so I think for me, I teach strategies, what we call mental mastery, how to really get your mindset stronger so you can win this battle once and for all and really create habits that you can maintain the motivation and the discipline to stick with it through the long term, more than just the first 2 days.
Right. And do you think a big part of that is, as you said, the decision to do so? I think so many people just kind of are waiting for it to happen somehow, or, oh, I'm going to get healthy when something else occurs, as opposed to making the decision.
I think a lot of people decide, a lot of people don't commit. See, this is what I tell everybody. Everybody who comes to me is interested in losing weight, but everybody's not committed. See, when you're committed, you go to work and you go to lunch with your girlfriends and they want to go get burger and fries. When you're committed, you sometimes say, no, I'm going to stay here and eat my salad. When you're committed, you do what is right to do, even if it feels uncomfortable. And so people make the decision, hey, I'm going to lose weight. They make it every single day. What they don't do is stay committed. I always say people lie to themselves, right? Mm-hmm. They say, I'm going to lose weight, and they if the pastor asked them to do something, their kids ask them to do something, they always follow through. But when it comes to commitment to ourselves, we sometimes don't follow through. So I think people decide, but they don't stay committed to the decision.
Such an important distinction. Very good. So I will ask you, one thing that you mentioned earlier was just about showing some of the transformation from people who have been parts of your programs, and the amazing transformations, I should say. But what would you say about the transformation that goes beyond the physical, whether it's self-confidence or anything like that? Do you notice transformation in people in that way as well as the physical of losing the weight?
It goes both ways. Some people lose the weight and don't even see the weight loss. Then you have some people who lose the weight and they're like, I got my sexy back. You can't tell me anything. Mm-hmm. So it really depends on the individual and why they got in the situation where they were struggling with weight gain. And so many people have to really get to the root of why they struggle. And if they haven't gotten through to it, they still struggle with that image of I'm overweight or I'm too big. And then there's some people who literally lose the weight and they break through and free themselves of all the chains that were really holding them back from living their best life. And they get more confident, more self-esteem, and just start building up their wardrobe, trying to look their best every time they walk out of the door.
I love it. Now, one of the things that you posted, I think it was on, I don't know if it was on Instagram or Twitter, but you mentioned, I can never get a date in my 20s. In my 30s, I was chasing my dreams. In my 40s, I'm just trying to get my sexy back, which I love that. In what ways are you bringing your sexy back?
Oh, my goodness. I had on a crop top and a little teeny my stomach was showing.
Ooh, nice. I love it.
Yeah. And so, like, I think for me, when I say get my sexy back, it's totally mental first, mm-hmm. in that I feel like when I look in the mirror, I feel like I like the way I look. I remember I was at a weight loss conference and a lady said to me, I don't know how you sell weight loss books because you're not skinny at all. And as much as I found that comment offensive, I had to explain to her, real women love their curves. You don't have to be a size 0 to feel like you look good in your clothes. The question is, do I look good in this outfit?
Right.
And for people, only you can determine that. And for me, getting my sexy back means when I look in the mirror and I feel good in that outfit, I'm good to go out of the door. And it gives me so much confidence to feel good in my outfit. And then to be this age and to really venture out a little bit in terms of my attire and not being so conservative, it's just fun for me. And I was telling my cousin the other day, I said, she said, how you doing? How was the event last night? I said, it was really good. I had on a shirt that was probably a little too tight, jeans as well, but it was kind of cool. And she said, well, how is it too tight? I said, I think for my age, I don't know if it was age appropriate, but it sure looked good on me. So I'm just like having fun with it, just trying to maximize all of the effort that I put in to try to, get to the size I was in college. And it took a while to get from a 16 to a size 6. It's been a journey, but that was a size that I had some clothes I wanted to get back into.
I hear that. And one of the things that you said with that same message is live your life and forget your age.
I just laughed because someone told me the other day they carded me. They needed my ID to verify I was 21.
Nice.
And I was, no, you're trying too hard.
But I'll take it.
I will take it. If you were just being nice, I will accept it as a compliment either way.
Right. Now, how do you think, what's your advice, I should say, for some of us with getting over our limiting beliefs around age?
Age is interesting because if I can be as transparent as possible, aging is way more difficult for women. Men get older, but it's like they get finer with time. They get more distinguished, established. Gray looks good on them. Mm-hmm. With women, you get older, you're just old. So it's interesting to me because the way I look at age, I don't really mind getting older as long as I look and feel young. So I think for me, I had a class on how to look younger, how to feel younger. And so when I wasn't taking care of my health, I would wake up and I could start to feel the effects of getting older in terms of knees aching, joints aching, just being tired and groggy in the mornings. And so I changed that because the number doesn't matter to me as long as I look and feel young. So I'm very strategic about how to ensure that I slow the aging process in terms of wrinkles and low energy. And I went into perimenopause early at 40 years old. So I've already had to start the challenge of balancing my hormones because that will be moving toward menopause will age you quicker than anything else, physically and the way you look. Mm-hmm. For me, age is just a number. The question is, do I look and feel young? And that's really been my focus. Otherwise, I'm just going to wake up and be like, I'm older. And that's just very boring.
Right. Excellent. Now, what would you say, JJ, your support network looks like?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, in life, I have a strong support system of family and friends that are involved even in terms of running my business, my social life. There's a song by Drake called No New Friends. I totally get that song because I have the same support system and family and friends that I've been close with for decades, and it hasn't really changed. So I think, to me, the people who run my business, I mean, we have a Sexy by Summer conference we do every August. We have 750 people come in on this movement just to celebrate success. And they come from Hawaii and China and Japan for a 4-day conference. And it's literally run by my family. And it's not often that you can have an event of that size and have family members run it and still be family at the end of it. So my support system has pretty much been the same for quite some time.
How can people find out about the conference? Is there another coming up this summer?
Yeah, if they go to the website, jjsmithonline.com, they can get information on the last year's conference so they can see what it's all about. But in a week, we're releasing tickets for this year's conference, which will be in August, Washington, D.C. But just to learn about it, we keep the information up from last year so people can get a gist. But it's a time of celebration. It's joyous. It's partying. It's inspiration. It's people who've come together to take back control of their health and their weight, coming together to celebrate this journey. Because, you could be the only one in your household, in your circle, trying to live their very best life. So you want to connect with people you've been connecting with online and really meet some of them in person.
Mm-hmm. Now, just a couple more questions. I know I'm being conscious of your time. What would you say that following your passion has taught you about yourself as a woman?
Following my passion has taught me about myself. I don't know. I don't really think of myself as a woman that like in any particular way. Like I think I don't know if that sounds strange to say, but like I don't say, oh, as a woman. I just say, God's given me these gifts, and I have to try to leverage, every single gift that He gave me. And so for me, I don't really think gender. I just think I'm a person that's chasing after God's heart, trying to live my very best life. But and I think too, I have I have a lot of guy friends, and they always say you're like your communication is much like a guy, and the way you deal with people in a relationship so much like a guy. I don't even really know what that means, but I just know, I just try to chase after God's heart in everything I do.
Excellent. So in closing, if you think over your life and career and had the chance to thank only one person whose support was critical to you personally or professionally, who would that be and what would you say?
That would be my ex-husband. My ex-husband is also my business partner today. We also own a $30 million IT consulting firm as well, and we started working together 14 years ago. And even though we couldn't salvage our marriage, we were able to salvage our business relationship. And he's the business partner for my brand today. And we work well. We love each other. We're best friends. And there is no JJ Smith brand without his genius mind around marketing and business and strategy. So, my business goes as far as he and I working together can take me.
I love that. I love that you, as you mentioned, maybe you weren't able to salvage the marriage, but you still knew that there was some sort of partnership there and looking beyond that. Right.
And it's a lot of people want to define what love looks like. And for most people, divorce means end. Mm-hmm. And for us, it meant end of a marriage, but a continuing blossoming love relationship that was mutual respect, love, adoration. And we totally have the best working relationship, very compatible in terms of how we think and how we work together. And we wanted to salvage that.
Excellent. Do you still work in a technology company today, or are you still involved, I should say?
I've been on sabbatical for 2 years because my nutrition, weight loss book stuff has gotten really, really busy. Mm-hmm. But he's actually still the CEO. But I'm on sabbatical, have been for 2 years now.
All right. So now tell us how we can find out more about you. I'll have links, of course, to everything, the website and all of your social media, but anything you want people to know and look out for.
I think if they go to JJ Smith online, they can learn a lot about the type of products. One thing I'm also known for, other than green smoothies, is getting rid of belly fat. That is my specialty. That was my struggle, is getting rid of. Even when I lost the weight, I still had the belly. And so for me, I got very creative about learning every potential strategy on the market. And I've always been able to narrow them down to the ones that work. And I have a book about it. And I do a belly flat challenge twice a year. And for me, I think for a lot of people, particularly women, I think if your midsection is smaller than the rest of you, it almost doesn't matter what size you are. It's about curves. And a lot of women, if they could get their midsection smaller, they feel better about their overall curves. And so I know for me, belly fat was a struggle, and I learned so much about it. I always share it with everybody. And people have great success on our flat belly challenge. So that's something you can learn about on our site as well.
Excellent. What's that belly fat book? I got to write that down.
6 ways to lose belly fat without dieting.
6 ways to lose belly fat without dieting.
Yep.
Excellent. JJ, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your time and your amazing tips and advice. I really appreciate you.
Sure thing. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Now, before you go, just a parting piece of advice from you to our listeners about anything.
I think for most people, what I would want people to understand, is when I was working in the IT consulting firm, I'm vice president and partner full time. My passion was always health and nutrition. And I want people to understand is your current job isn't your last job. And what you're doing now may not be your passion, but it is imperative that we spend our free time pursuing it. Work towards it. Don't worry about making money. Just worry about being excellent at it. Pursue your passions while you still have a day job. And at some point, your passion can become your full-time job. Because I know for me, I still managed a full-time career while I was writing books about health and nutrition as a hobby with no intent on making any money. And eventually it's turned into a full-time career, but it's totally based on passion. And every day I wake up, I feel like I don't even have to go to work. I just have to live my passion, and it's a pretty fun place to be. So I would encourage people, don't let your day job deter you from your pursuing your passion. Just go for it.
Excellent. JJ, thank you so much. Hold on for just a moment. All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode with JJ Smith. And now, before you go, I want to ask you, are you ready to create something sexy in your life? Are you tired of spending time trying to figure out things on your own, or stressed because you don't know the answers, or frustrated because you don't feel like you're reaching your goals, and confused because you feel like you've done everything that you can, but things still aren't working out? I got an answer for you. The Create Something Sexy Mastermind. I am so excited about this mastermind. We are kicking it off on the first day of spring, March 20th, 2017. But today, being March 1st, I had to tell you guys about it first. You are the first to hear about it. My Support is Sexy crew, sexy listeners, I appreciate all of you. I want you to create something sexy in your life. People ask to work with me in different ways all the time, so I've decided to start the Create Something Sexy Mastermind. It'll be an intimate group of women all around the world who are really passionate about seeing their dreams become a reality. And it is possible with support. You know, we are all about support around here because support is sexy. And as I always say, having it all doesn't mean doing it all alone. So why not join a group of women who are there for you, ready to rock with you, reaching for their own goals too, and who can support you with resources, feedback, insight, so much information to share with you on how you can move forward. So if you're interested and you're really ready to rock and create something sexy, I want you to go to createsomething.sexy.com. All together, createsomething.sexy.com. Check out more information on the mastermind there. And then if you're ready to apply, just click one of the buttons and we'll take you through the process. It's very simple application. My main thing is making sure that it's women like you who are in the space of really wanting to create something special, something sexy, something spectacular in 2017. This isn't to say that you have to be at a certain point in your business. There'll be women of all stages within the group. We did a small beta group. Women at all stages, all ages, all different ideas work together to move each other forward. So now I'm opening it up to a limited few additional women starting March 20th and going for 5 months. As a member of the group, you'll have access to me, access to all of the experts that I know. We'll bring in special guests just for the group, exclusive content, trainings, great information just for members of the Create Something Sexy Mastermind. So I'm going to tell you more about it later this week. But like I said, today's March 1st. I did want to give you guys the first look. So go to createsomething.sexy.com now to find out more. And now you know what to do. Go out there, as I always say, and create something sexy. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.